Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is our first in a series on artificial intelligence and with specific focus on the auto body industry and how it is going to affect that industry. And in our first segment here, I think the first thing for us to do is take an expert like Daniel from Body Shop Marketing and sort of give us his take on what artificial intelligence is. And then secondly, I mean, I have some gray hair. Daniel doesn't have a lot of gray hair, but why should we care?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you bet. Let me try to explain this. I'll try to keep it simple. Um, AI is stands for artificial intelligence, and there's quite a few reasons why we should care about it. But I will get to that later. Let's just try to think of AI as the brain behind, let's say, the smart features in your car. Just like sensors help cars park themselves and alert you when you're drifting, AI processes data, learns patterns, and makes decisions faster than we can. So it's basically a machine that can learn from historical data and then make decisions moving forward from that. So AI is learning from its past jobs, just like, let's say, a tech in your shop is learning from every dent. Every time they match a certain color paint code, they learn a little bit more and they build on that experience. AI has that capability of learning on that experience. AI has also another kind of cool thing about it that it can see and analyze images. So let's think about this in the collision repair space. How about we start leveraging AI to analyze photos of damaged vehicles? Will it ever be able to get in depth? Obviously not, because it can only see the fender. It can't see back and behind the fender and what's broken there. So there's just a lot of reasons we should care, as especially as auto body repair professionals and collision repair shops. Why should we care about this? Well, there's just a lot of ways that AI in the
Wait,
future.
hold on. Let's not go into caring first. Let's go into, hasn't it, like, why is it all of a sudden it's just everywhere? Like, what was the big shift that made it? Like, I mean, I remember my kids coming home from school maybe 2 years ago and talking about how he could write an English essay with ChatGPT, which I had never heard of. And all of a sudden it just seems to be like it's everywhere.
Good, yes. Thank you, Wendell, for let's just shift back to that. So ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI, they launched ChatGPT in 2022. I think it was around the summer, August of 2022 when that was launched. And it was largely a concept of let's have this interface where we can talk with AI and it can give us data. Now, as you know, in the last 2 years, this has exploded as people started to use AI. Since we had this interface to actually use it, as we started using it, more and more tools got built off the back of OpenAI's platform, off of different platforms, as you know, Google, Microsoft, all these other big players are also trying to get into the space of OpenAI because there's so much opportunity here. It's the next biggest revolution. It's probably bigger than the industrial revolution that's it's happening right now. So yes, all these tools have just become so much more accessible. As you know, about every day we have a new tool getting launched. We have an upgrade on an existing tool. It's just growing and compounding faster than a guy can even keep track of. And that's why we just see this explosion all around us. We talk to AI on the phone. We go to a restaurant, we're talking to AI to order food. We are just, and there's so much behind the scenes that's going on. So that's kind of why this is just, it's exploded and taken off, is because it's been being built in the background for many, many years. Artificial intelligence has been, but I would say ChatGPT was really a turning point back in 2022 when that was released to the public, and suddenly people started using it, started working with it, and then of course other companies start we're releasing products as well. So we just have this race now among some of the biggest companies in the world to dominate the AI sector. So huge times. It's revolutionary. It really is.
Okay. And then so in terms of where you're seeing it the most, where like do we see it ever? I mean, you just talked about ordering. I mean, we see it in lots of things we do on the telephones. Do we care because this is coming going to come everywhere? Like where can't it go and where can it go then? So why would we really care about it, I guess?
I think we should probably ask AI that question because do we really know where it's going and what all industries it's going to disrupt? There's just so many things that it's going to do, and especially from a technological standpoint, AI is going to replace a lot of manual entry as far as like entry data entry. You can have AI bots doing that for you. um, we just don't know exactly where all it's going. Now, is that scary or not? I guess there's a couple ways of looking at it. You could look at it as, oh man, that's scary. Like, what are we going to do? There is, I guess, some sides of it that could be potentially that could be the case. I would say look at it as a tool, leverage it as a tool, just like when the car was invented. Was that scary for people when they went from a horse and buggy to a car that could go faster, could go further? This thing didn't have a horse in front of it. Sure, that was scary, but it's a tool. So I believe AI, let's look at it the same way. Let's think about how we can leverage it to increase our capacity. And I think there's just a lot of potential in the collision repair industry where that can be leveraged, whether it's on the phones, whether it's estimating, whether it's marketing, whether it's managing the shop workflow, assigning jobs to the right technician because AI is learning and taking the data of who is faster at what job, optimizing all of the processes in the shop. And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll have robots that are AI controlled out there working in the shop to help take care of this tech shortage that we've got going on. Isn't that crazy to think about?
It's funny because you talk about the word scary, and I know there are lots of people afraid of it, right? I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that we enter in terms of data onto our computers that does AI have control over all that stuff? Like, how do we get protected on that side?
I don't feel like I can speak to that very well. It's just that is some very real concerns. And here again, I would say as a society, we have gotten really used to handing over our data. We click little buttons. We accept so many things without reading it. We have no idea. I would say we've given up a lot of our privacy many years ago. Is this a whole lot different? I guess potentially there's maybe some different dynamics to it. But here again, I don't feel like I'm an authority in that specific realm of AI and the privacy issues that surround that.
So then let's just lean forward on your imagination then. So where do you see it in 5 years? What does it look like to Daniel?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Man, what does it look like in 5 years from now? I'm not really sure what to say about that. I think there's going to be so much change. And I know I use this example. Let me use this example to help illustrate it. That remember when you went from the Yellow Pages phone book to using Google to look up local businesses? The older generation definitely remembers that. Some of us younger ones, we have a hard time remembering that. My personal opinion is that just using that as an illustration of how much it's going to change, we have gotten really used to Googling things. That's become a verb in our language. We Google something. We need to find an auto body repair shop. We Google it. We need to find out about how to fix something. We Google it. Well, that I believe is going to change. Do we know exactly how that's all going to look? I don't think we know yet at this point. The interface of how we interact with the internet and AI is going to drastically change. I believe it's going to be even more of a change going from Google to what's next than it was going from Yellow Pages to Google. So I don't have a picture in my head of what that's going to look like exactly. As far as like other tasks around the shop, I think probably, especially at an admin level, there is potentially going to be a lot of potential for leveraging AI for tasks, repetitive tasks that can easily be done with technology rather than having valuable talent sitting there at a computer doing it. And then you can just in turn leverage them more elsewhere in the business. So I don't feel like I guess there's a fear of AI is going to replace people, and there's not going to be, what are people going to do? They're not going to have jobs because AI is taking their place. You know, I think it's just going to create a whole nother level of job opportunities, because suddenly you're going to need AI specialists, you're going to need AI professionals that you never needed before. You're going to increase the capacity of the people, of the talent that you have in your shop. You're going to increase their capacity to perform at a higher level. So I don't think AI is going to necessarily replace people, just as in, like, I guess you could go back to the Industrial Revolution, where suddenly we were building machines to do jobs rather than going out into the field and hoeing our field. Now we had a tractor to pull the plow. Well, did people run out of things to do because now they could plow so much more ground rather than having 100 people out there hoeing in the field? No, we adapt. Suddenly we have a whole nother level of people manufacturing this equipment. We have people repairing this equipment. We create jobs. So that's what I think is going to happen here in the AI revolution is as we speak, we are creating jobs that never existed 2 years ago.
Crazy. It's certainly crazy to think about. So I think our goal for this series with Daniel and I is probably going to be to bring on some other people that are influential and very knowledgeable within the body shop industry and sort of cover on how AI is going to affect some of those fields. And I'll use things like diagnostics and vehicle health and collision damage estimate that Daniel brought up before, and customer experience, how it's going to affect that, inventory and parts management, shop management, and workflow automation. So I hope Daniel's willing to take on this with me, and we're going to go through and we're going to hopefully bring on some guest speakers to give us some more information and some kind of different ways of looking at this and how it's going to affect the body shop industry in general.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I think one thing that I would just probably close this with is that AI won't replace your shop, but the shops that use AI might replace your shop if you don't lean in.